Every show has its own changes and flavors, but there are still some best practices. Hello, my darlings. Blue is right. If you get turned down with an application to a Renaissance fair, if you've applied and it didn't quite work, try again. Because 1, that show will know you're serious. 2, you get some practice. 3, sometimes the timing's just not right. You know, they've got too many of the vendors in the category that you've applied with, or you know, you're 1 year before that other potter is about to retire, and the vendor coordinator doesn't know that they need more mugs being sold in their show yet. So every year has its own changes and flavors, and every show has its own changes and flavors, but there are still some best practices. And I don't know, I think I touch on it, but I don't say it as clearly as Blue does. It's like, try again. Let that show start to know who you are because they've read your applications, plural. In my Renfaire Vendors Blueprint, I have best practices for applications. And I think I'm gonna make a bundle of that also, because there's people that don't need the orientation sections of that course. They just kind of could really use the resources and tools that are attached to the course. So I'm gonna put together a bundle. If anybody has a suggestion for a name for it, let me know. Because it's Renfaire Vendors Blueprint started as a newbies course. And then there's like 12 things attached to it that are different worksheets and punch lists and lists of best practices. And those are handy to anybody. So the link's in my bio. Once there's a bundle, that'll be in my bio also. I just have to figure out what to call it. But yeah, and Blue, like myself, is somebody that's been in the industry for decades and has continued to reinvent himself. You know, it's like some of us do shows with a suite of products. You know, I'm not gonna have one shop that's full of a mix of a lot of things, but I might have a shop over there that's got hair braiders in it, and a shop over there that's a food shop. And Blue does everything from jewelry to pipes to elf ears. You know, he's got a suite of products at a show, and that's one of the ways that I like to do shows. Is instead of filling my calendar, I do a show more intensely. Like, I have more things going on at the show where I've already made the time commitment and the travel commitment to be there. You know, like if a show is made up of slices of pie, my travel cost is the same no matter how many slices of pie I'm collecting. My overhead changes because I have more employees and I have more stock to deal with. But that section of overhead that is travel and lodging, for me, it stays the same no matter how many things I'm doing at a show. So that's one of the ways to scale without necessarily just trying to get yourself into more and more shows with a single thing that you do. And I do talk about scaling a little bit in the Renfaire Vendors Blueprint, but scaling and newbies are like not the same category. So anyway, for the people that are looking at scaling, I'm thinking about putting together a bundle, and we'll figure out what we're going to call it. You know, it might just have a category that's just resources, and people can just pick and choose what it is they're interested in. So I hope you're having a great day. I am off to the World Tea Expo because there are no trade shows for this industry. There are trade shows for the different things you do within the industry. So I go to restaurant trade shows, and I go to carnival trade shows, and I have a tea line and a tea room. So I'm going to the World Tea Expo in Las Vegas because I'll have like 5 days of classes, everything from palette training and blending to marketing your tea room, you know? So that's what the next week's going to be about, going out to high tea every place I can find in Las Vegas. I am taking my assistant Melinda and our operations manager for TRF, for our shops at TRF, Olivia. So it's Girls Week in Vegas. And we're going to be tea drunk. So we may be giggling and showing up on video. Hope you have a great day.